Everything has been moving really quickly at Real Madrid in recent weeks. It's no longer a secret that the club has been talking to José Mourinho and are trying to bring him back to the club more than a decade after he left. But the question on everyone's lips right now is why? Many people call José a football dinosaur now, so why do Real Madrid want him, especially when there are other options on the market? Well, you'll find out exactly why in this video today. This is why Florentino Pérez wants José Mourinho back. First of all, the current chaos in the dressing room needs a strong hand and a name the players will surely respect. And that is exactly what José Mourinho is. In fact, just based on what he's achieved in the sport alone, he's someone who naturally commands respect whenever he walks into a room. Some people say that hiring Mourinho would be like pouring petrol on fire, but it's really not, is it? If there's ever a fight in a Mourinho dressing room, it's always between him and a player, never between the players themselves. And even at that, it usually takes a year or two for one to start. So now that there's a lot of fighting between players, we actually see Mourinho coming in to restore order in no time. The process might not be conventional, but he surely has the skill set to do exactly that. But of course, Pérez is not planning to hire him for that reason alone. Mourinho has proven to be a winner. He won stuff at Real Madrid, at Chelsea, Man United, Inter, even at Porto and AS Roma, where no one really gave him a chance. The man has shown that he's someone who will do absolutely anything necessary to win. And coming off a trophyless season, you have to say that that is exactly what Los Blancos needs right now. Real Madrid gave it a shot with a young and idealistic coach who tried to build a project, but Xabi Alonso didn't even last a season. Arbeloa, another young manager, also hit a roadblock, failing to win anything, instead allowing the dressing room to fall into anarchy under his watch. Pérez looks at all of this and just feels it's time for a change. Enough with the experiment. It's time to hire a coach with a track record of winning, even when it seems impossible. This is perhaps why Mourinho is higher up on the list than the likes of Andoni Iraola and Oliver Glasner. They just seem to be other versions of Xabi Alonso. And we know that there are a lot of people who are of the opinion that Mourinho's finished and is no longer that guy. These people say the fact that his last three jobs were Roma, Fenerbahce and Benfica show how far he's fallen and how the football world has left him behind. But don't forget that before Ancelotti returned for his second stint at Real Madrid, he was at Everton. But he returned to the Bernabeu and won the Champions League, not once, but twice. It's very difficult to fully judge a top coach when he's at a place where he doesn't have enough resources. At Real Madrid, with these players, Mourinho could really cook. And Pérez wants him in particular because back in 2010, when it seemed like Spanish football was being taken over by Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, it was Mourinho who came in and turned things around for Los Blancos. He ended the club's 18-year Copa del Rey drought. He took them to the semi-finals of the Champions League for the first time in 8 years, and then won them their first La Liga title in 4 years, doing it with a record 100 points. He really took the club from what seemed like a doomed path and restored them back to the top of the game, both in Spain and in Europe. People say that Ancelotti reaped the fruit of Mourinho's labour. Anyway, right now, history seems to be repeating itself, with Hansi Flick's Barcelona attempting to dominate Spanish football with back-to-back La Liga and Supercopa titles. So it just makes sense that Pérez is going back to a formula that worked before. He's calling on the same man that broke Pep's dominance to come in and do the same with Flick. And you know what's more? Despite all that's said about Mourinho by the media and the fans, he and Pérez actually have a really good relationship. You see, when Mourinho left Real Madrid in 2013, he left on good terms. The likes of Zidane and Cristiano left on bad terms, which is why a return to the club for them will always be tricky. But with Mourinho, everything was cordial. After he lost the 2013 Copa del Rey final to Atleti, he said himself that the 2012-13 season was the worst of his entire career. And 3 days after, he decided to step down, despite still having 3 years left on his contract. It's quite obvious that no bridges were burned during that first stint, so you can see exactly why Pérez is trying so hard to get him back. And it sort of feels like an opportunity for Mourinho to finish what he started at Real Madrid. Like we said moments ago, it was Mourinho who restored Real Madrid to the top of football and set them on a path to success. And while he was able to win a league title and a couple of domestic cups, it still feels like what he did deserved more silverware. So maybe it's time for him to come back and complete the story. Mourinho finally returning to win a Champions League trophy with Real Madrid would be such a fairy tale end, especially after that penalty shootout heartbreak against Bayern Munich in the 2012 semis. And one very underrated thing that Mourinho brings to any team is protection of his players. Where Mourinho goes to the media to paint himself as the villain and make everything about him, people don't understand that that really helps the players. It takes all the pressure away from the players and allows them to perform freely because they know that if anything goes wrong, all the media focus will be on the coach and not on them. That could offer a huge psychological boost to players who need it. And let's face it guys, Mourinho is just simply a better candidate than any other available coach for this crop of players. You'll definitely fancy Mourinho, even with his theatrics, over the likes of Andoni Iraola, Enzo Maresca, and Oliver Glasner, who don't have much experience managing big egos like the ones you'll find in the Real Madrid dressing room. Of course, the likes of Zidane and Klopp would have been great, but they just seem impossible at this point. Zidane seems like he's on his way to take over from Didier Deschamps as head coach of the France national team, while Klopp looks like a guy that's really happy where he is right now. Deschamps is not a bad idea. His CV is actually so good both at club and international level, but he's been away from club football for so long and you can't exactly predict how the transition will go for him, especially when you throw him straight into the deep end. And if we're being honest here, none of these candidates hate Barcelona half as much as Mourinho does. And if you're going to be a Real Madrid coach, that extra bit of motivation is always nice to have. So, all in all, we really do understand why Florentino Pérez wants Mourinho so badly. It's a safe and smart option, especially considering the position the club currently finds itself in, but we're sure that he's also ready to take the good with the bad. It's almost inevitable that Mourinho will divide the dressing room at one point in the future. I mean, he sort of did that last time he was at Real Madrid. Remember when he dropped Casillas for Diego Lopez and also fell out with Sergio Ramos and even Cristiano Ronaldo? All of that caused a division in the fan base when we started to see the Madridistas and the Mourinhistas. There's a huge probability that this will repeat itself again if Mourinho gets rehired, but knowing Pérez, if they're going to be restored to winning ways, then for him it is surely a worthy sacrifice. Anyway, it's now time to hear from you guys. Why do you think that Pérez wants Mourinho back so badly? Do you think rehiring the Portuguese is the best decision for Real Madrid right now? How do you think his time will go at the club? Get in the comments and talk to us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so that you never miss out on new content. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.